Domino's, yeah. When she spoke about how Domino's always keep the customer knowing like what the process is and thingy, and she said if you did that with the design, and look at now 2PP, now we have the process where we highlight the stages that we're at and stuff like that. So yeah, Lauren was the one that told us about that and everything like that.
That is the key, right? Because if you look at some of the big, if you think from a small business point of view, like the cash flow is king, and obviously small businesses don't have a lot of cash flow. These big businesses are paying mega bucks for researchers, marketers, like they are paying a lot of money to figure out how to sell to people. So if you can just watch what they do rather than what they sell and how they do it, then they're basically giving a lot of that away to you for free, which is gold. And you just then have to find your way of implementing it. And Domino's was like fantastic because they just dealt with a pain point. They looked at the customer journey. There was a pain point, which is a massive one, that could really decrease the experience they had with that brand. And now it's much better. And I think actually Pizza Hut, have they done something similar? Can't remember. Domino's is my favorite, sorry.
Yeah, I know that.
So in a sense, what, like, going a little bit off topic, what do you think about some of these deliveries? Because especially during this lockdown, it's been a bit peak.
Deliveries in terms of food, or we're talking like parcels?
I'm talking about everything. Look,
parcels crazy.
Look, right? I've only just got a parcel today from Next. I ordered 3 things. And they spaced it out in the course of a month. I've only just received the last one today. They said, oh, it's going to be delivered by the 7th. What's today? Today's the 8th.
I think a lot of businesses have had to adapt the logistics massively in a very quick and short space of time. Like if you think online wasn't as big for a lot of these companies, Amazon were probably the best because that's where they were king, and they still are. Yeah. But essentially, like a lot of these businesses were in it, they were playing in it, but it wasn't really the game. Whereas now they've had to massively adapt their logistics. There's probably, I mean, that business is going to be thriving, right? Anyone in logistics, delivery drivers, and everyone's had to really change their game around that. So I don't think anyone's perfect on it. And Next clearly included. And they need to do some work. But I think there's just this massive thing that they've had to adapt so quickly. And it's very hard to manage in such a big company because change takes a long time because there's so much politics involved.
But then when you're looking at people like Deliveroo and all those food ones, you're expecting them to have a bit like to be at a certain place where you think that everything should be cool. Because all I'm hearing now, thank God I haven't experienced this, but I didn't even know that this was happening. Like people who actually do Deliveroo, they're delivering food apparently on the door, and then just leaving and knocking on the door because, you know, and then leaving it out, and all of a sudden the customers are like, oh, where's my food? Where's my food? Oh, it's been delivered. They open the door, something that's been out there for 20 minutes. That's their food, and they got cold food. What is that? Yeah. Or even to the point where they say that the food has been delivered, but they're taking it for themselves.
So here's a really good example of someone that's done that really, I think, quite well. And it's the first time I experienced it. I bought a gift for someone and they actually took a picture. It was hilarious because it was one of my really good friends, one of my best friends. And they took a picture and emailed it to me of the door open with her, I could see her fluffy socks and she was clearly like chilling. And the parcels were on the doorstep, so you could see that she was there and the delivery driver was there all at the same time. And I think that was such a nice way for me as a customer buying it, knowing that it had turned up and arrived and safely and everything else. Like they really hit the nail on the head. But obviously I sent the picture to my friend saying, I know what socks you're wearing.
But in the case of that, I've also heard of the delivery people doing that, because I think because of what's been happening where people are saying that, oh, you're saying that my food's been delivered, but it hasn't been delivered. So obviously they said that now you have to be taking pictures to show that it's been delivered. But even so, some are delivering it, taking a picture and still taking the box. If it wasn't for the fact that a neighbor caught one of the delivery guys, they would never have known. They would have thought that someone just saw it on the doorstep and everything and just nicked it.
Yeah. There's a lot of people getting the ring bell thing now, aren't they? The camera on the doorbell because of this, just because.
Oh yeah, I'm going to do that.
Everyone's
I'm going to do that just to scare them.
Yeah. Yeah, literally. I've seen so much Instagram videos of like delivery drivers taking pictures of it delivered and then taking it back and pulling it in the truck and going. Wow.
Crazy.
That's it. Imagine if there was a PS5 in there and everything. It ain't being delivered. It ain't being delivered. I don't know what you think about this. I think that the company or whoever's delivering that should be able to package it in a way that they don't know exactly what it is. I don't know how hard that would be because depending on the size and how big, but you know. But I guess anything that's big or small, like it could be anything expensive, so they might take the risk.
Yeah, you just don't know stuff like that.
Just don't know, yeah.
All right. Anyway, that was my fault. I took it off topic. As you were.
Oh, is it? Who's turn?
Nate.
Is it me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. How do I stay fresh and creative? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
The way I stay fresh, this is a difficult one for me to answer. I don't know. Can't really. I think possibly the best way, and this is my honest opinion of it, the way I stay fresh in terms of the business is for me I take energy from the clients and I take energy from people. So when I do the consultation, I gather a lot and I can build rapport very quickly with people and engage. You can probably witness this on my consultations. I can build it very quickly. And then that's how I try and almost be like them, stand in their shoes. And then what I do as well, I transfer that energy in terms of who I'm working with. So if I'm working with anyone on a project, I'll bounce that off. And then that will mirror and that will usually help me create something new and fresh and creative. I get inspiration from just general things. If it's just my younger brothers or my sisters, I always draw information there. Creatively, I don't practice as much as I should, but to stay fresh, all I do is look at new ways of thinking things. And probably the best thing I do, I shoot every shot. So any idea I've got, and a lot of people are scared of doing this, and more people are calculated. Duke, you're the opposite of me. So all the ideas you have in your head, there's some ideas in there that I've probably never known of, we've never heard of. They might be even gems. But what I do, I'm a machine gun. So I will shoot everything. I'll be like, and see what sticks. And then even if it's rubbish, I go, oh, okay, cool. But then the one be like, hold on, that's beautiful. And well, there might be two rubbish ones, which I just tweak two things and it becomes the best thing ever. And I can use that. Or I fire it at Lauren and she'll tell you. I'm like, Lauren, what do you think of this? And she goes, you need to think outside the box. Basically saying it's not good. But I will be like, I'll be like, okay, cool, I'll go again. But I love, that's what keeps me on my toes. And then I keep doing that. And the only way creatively, and I think this is what I've gathered for myself, to keep myself fit creatively, I have to be well rested. When I'm well rested, that's when I'm at my best. And when I mean rested, it doesn't have to be physically, just mentally. There'll be times at 6 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, I'm half awake. And I don't know if you like, I'm half awake. Duke probably doesn't have half awake. He's either sleeping or he's awake because of the kids. So I'm half awake, yeah? And then that means my mind, I'll be like, oh yeah, that design. And I will do it in my head. Literally, it's crazy. It's the same thing I get when I'm running. I'll be like, oh yeah, this. And then boom, it's there, bang, straight away. And that's what keeps me fresh. So then even in my meditation as well, keeping me calm, collected, that's when my mind's freshest and at the best. If I keep to that schedule and keep doing those things, that's how I stay on my toes. If I don't, and I get fatigued, and I don't work out, and I don't do things that help me, my downtime, that's another thing. Not just meditation, but my downtime is like doing things I love and doing things that make my soul scream. And I say scream, like doing things I've never done before, like doing things for the first time ever. That itself helps me stay on my toes because I draw inspiration from that. And then sometimes doing things for the first time is the things I've been scared to do all my life, or I didn't have the courage to do, or I've been pushed to do, or asked to do. So those things help me stay on my toes. And that's because when you get that buzz And I remember like years ago when I first started working for this branding company called The Shape, and then this mentor and my manager, he made me go to a networking event. And in this networking event, every person, there's about 30 of them, would stand up for about a minute and pitch who they are, what they do, and what they're about. And I was just like his number two. So I thought, I'm not going to ask me. Everyone's going to talk about me. And then they were called up and it said, Nathan McKenzie. And you know what the funny thing about this is? This networking event, it's called, what is it called? It's quite big. I can't remember what it's called. But my dad was like on the panel, like he's like the top dog. And they said, Nathan McKenzie. And I was like, oh my God, Nathan. Yeah, if you want to stand up and tell us a bit. I went, what? So I stood up. But you know what? In that second, I went, I'm doing this. I stood up. And I was like, I'm Nathan McKenzie. I'm a graphic designer. I work with Paul. And it was the worst frightening minute of my life. But I was passionate about becoming a graphic designer. So I sold it. And everyone was like, yeah. And then my dad said to my brother, he never said it to me. He said, at that moment, I knew Nathan was going to be a graphic designer for the rest of his life. And then my brother said, I knew. I was like, yeah. The dark stuff. And then I came out of that. And those meetings started at 6 o'clock in the morning. 6 a.m. So there was no excuse in those times because I think it was 6 or 7. So they would do it for an hour. And then I think we'll have breakfast, which was paid for. And then by the time it's 9, you start your day, your working day. So they do like, I think once a month or twice a month. So then I was buzzing. Going back to the office, I was like, what are we doing today? Like, that energy, that kept me fresh. And so I was ready to do things because I was thirsty for that buzz when you haven't done things before. So that keeps me fresh, doing things I've never done before in my life. Yeah.
Amazing.
Do you know what? I think along with creativity, I think the one thing I've always wanted to do was kind of like, whether it's to speak or be on stage or anything like that. But that was always the thing that I was most scared of, especially because there was a time that, they'll tell you to speak and my face was dripping. Like, as soon as there was I'll be standing there and I'll be like, and my face would be shining. The sweat that would come off my face would be ridiculous. Like, and I'll just be there and just be like, what's it called? And I can't be doing this and stuff. So my whole face would just be like, and it would scare me. It would scare me so much. But now I don't care. Like, I may need to practice to be able to speak to millions of people, but if I had to speak to quite a few people now, plus I know I always end up talking about my wife, but if I say I'm going to do a speech, she makes me do it the night before. All right, Michael, I want to see what you're going to do. Okay, Michael, change this and change that. Because she speaks in front of a judge. So, like, for her, it's nothing. But so she's just got me at a point now where it's just kind of like, all right, Michael, you don't just go there and do it. Practice what you're going to say. All right, cool. And the thing I've learned is that if you do it a couple of times, you get rid of those bad habits. So that when it comes to the actual time, all those bad habits that you may have done if you were doing it for the first time, it's already done. It's already gone. You're not even thinking about that. You're now at a point where you're just focusing, let me just say what I'm going to say. Let me put my little swag on it and see what happens. So, yeah.
I hear that. I love that. Positive impact.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Duke, what about you?
Oh, okay, cool. Didn't know I was answering my own question.
No, we've all been doing.
Wait, Duke, stop. Lauren, what are you doing?
He's trying it,
Huh?
What?
Lauren, have you answered this question?
Yeah.
Oh?
Yeah, yes. She has.
Okay, yeah. No, you're right. Remember, we talk about the dominoes.
Michael, Lauren, Nate,
Dominoes.
one.
She has.
You two need to work on your listening skills.
No. No. We're just trying to make sure, Lauren. We're just trying to make sure.
No.
You know when I say I'm always fascinated about why people do what they do and how you can manipulate and influence.
I even said Lauren's name.
I don't care.
I even said Lauren's name.
Twice.
What?
If Lauren's not getting away with missing any questions, that's it.
Not today.
Not today.
Well, if you guys are listening, I said Lauren's name, so Lauren did do it.